just yeah, absolutely loved it, and always wanted to be a pro motocross racer. And then turned like 14, 15, and my mind changed, and the goal changed. And to say how quickly everything happened, it was an absolute dream come true. Like meeting you, winning my first two downhill races, like, and then the following year I was literally racing World Cups. I was like, what on earth? And like it was like proper pinch yourself. It was just like everything I'd ever wished for as a kid. Like I was blowing the candles out, and I was like, so yeah, Without going into it too much, yeah, it was little kid at Christmas every day. That's what my dad always used to say.
Cool, cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I remember, after I'd met you and, we'd been to that national, and, obviously it was quite handy that you didn't live too far away from me. Obviously
Yeah,
running a race team, I'd had riders previously that were all like on the other side of the world, or, in Europe, or, down from in Wales or whatever. So, for me, it was great that you were more local, and obviously, I could tell that you were really talented on the bike, and you had a lot of fire and a lot of drive, and um, straight away you were winning the races. So for me, it was always been nice for me when I was a team manager to be able to, you know, give people a ride on the team. That's something that, that I'd have dreamed of when I was younger and racing and struggling to do it all. So I think, being able to offer you that ride was amazing. I know I had a conversation with Michael at the time, and he was quite keen on me to sponsoring one of the young Irish lads that was started to do well in Ireland, and I think that was Kipper, and I was like, I know, no, I like Kipper, and I know he's good, but I've made my mind up. I want to sponsor this kid from round ours, and he was kind of a bit blown away, thinking what I was doing. Anyway, fair play to Michael. He always kind of listened to me in the end and said, "Well, yeah, you make the decision on who you want to have on the team," and yeah, we went from there, and as I say, you were, thinking back now, I guess I was, I'd been running the team for quite a while then, and we'd had, some really good success on the World Cup level with various riders, and, especially with Sam and Mike Jones and Joe Smith the year before. That was one of the best years we had in 2014. And so I guess, for me, looking back now, um, I did drop you in at the deep end, but I think you had the skills and the mindset to do that. And I think the first proper year on the team, we were straight into first year junior World Cups, and
yeah, it's
yeah, it's quite
go
mad.
on.
Can you remember that, and like the first race we went to? Tell us a bit about.
Oh, so I'll take it to when I got my first downhill bike off you for that season, and we just got this new. I think it was like the Pulse V2 or something like that. We called it, and it was like the old Pulse was like super boxy, like looked a bit old fashioned compared to like some of the other bikes on the circuit. And then Nukeproof just like put like this bike. It literally looked like it was fast.
Mhm.
And I got that, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, and we went to Antistiniog on it, and I was like, "Wow!" I mean, I never really got on with Antistiniog race result wise, but for a day out, on that thing, I was absolutely blown away, and that's when it kind of started like sinking in. Um, and yeah, I remember we went to the first national at A Forest before that, and my dad was walking around wondering what to do with himself because he didn't have to work on my bike anymore. I had like a full team pit. I had all this kit, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like the pressure was ridiculous, and it wasn't from you guys; it was from myself. Like I know, like you were like, "Oh well, we'll just see how we get on," whereas I was like, "Right, don't cock this up." So yeah, I did the national. I think I got second or something, and then we went to Lords, and my mum. The deal was that year was like I had all the support, like all the all the kit I could ever wish for, like mechanic at the races, and then we just like my mum and dad just had to get me to like the races in Europe, and that was the deal for the first year, and I was like absolutely blown away, like that I was going to all these World Cups, and I remember Lords was my 11th bike race altogether.
No way.
So I did like a couple of UK Enduros because that's what I started in originally, and then yeah, a couple of dyno races after I got that dyno bike from you, and then straight into Lords. And I was like, what on earth? Met Sam for the first time, and like when I first started mountain biking, I didn't have a clue Sam was, didn't have a clue anyone was. But then obviously when I got to speaking to you, and you were chatting about the team, and I learned a lot about the team and became a massive fan of the team, because obviously that was my dream then, because I'd met you and you were the manager of the team. I was like, oh no way, that like. I remember getting a pair of Troy Lee designed pants you gave me for my birthday, and my mum was unstitching the chain reaction off the back of it, off the going up the leg, and she went to me. She went, "One day, son, you might be able to keep these on." Next minute, I'm stood there at the side of Sam Hill taking team photos like this with my
Yeah.
big afro
Yeah.
and doing interviews with Salva. What?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm sat there, and Rat Boy was a big deal back then, and like I'm going walking down the tracks, and Sam's walking the track with me, Mike's walking, I was like the big brother I never had, and it like I just felt like I slotted in straight away. I don't know whether it's just because I talk so much, but yeah, it was. I don't know. It was just so easy for me to just speak to everyone, and everyone was so nice. I mean, I don't know what you were saying once I'd left, but but yeah, I remember going into that race. I was go on.
Now they're all pretty good riders on the team, easy going. Everyone easy going. Like we'll take the piss out of each other, but at the end of the day, everyone was pretty solid, and yeah, you fitted in fine. Obviously, you talk a little bit more than Sam, and maybe a bit more comprehensible than Mike. Uh, but yeah, everyone's got a different personality. But yeah, I think we had a good team roster at that point for sure. Uh,
Oh yeah, it was awesome, mate. Like looking back, like every time we used to come go around to your house and in between the races and stuff like that, it was literally like Christmas every time I went. Just like, oh yeah, but try this tire, or yeah, try like look at this, and oh, have you got everything you need? Or I'm just going, Dad, why are they being so nice to me? But yeah, it was like you say, like I mean, it might have happened without our relationship. It might not have done, but like the way it went and the way it has gone, like I couldn't ask for any more than that. Like I was literally a kid that grew up in Wigan. Do you know what I mean? It like you look around and it's like you got a couple of unbelievable BMX races from our part of the world,
yeah.
but not really any mountain bikers. Do you know what I mean?
No, but I guess where I grew up and where you grew up, it's not like ideal for mountain biking. It's pretty flat. As you say, there's been some really good BMXs from that area, and there was when I did BMX in the 80s, there was some really good riders from the Wigan area. So, obviously it's a town with a really successful rugby team, and I think sports quite big in that town, and maybe just the mentality of the people from around there is quite competitive. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think the skills that you'd learn, like you mentioned earlier, from your motocross bike, your trials bike, your BMX. I think all that enabled you to be as fast as you were pretty quickly on the downhill bike.